Welcome to the Tuesday daily edition of Conversational AI Watch, brought to you by Clinician Assist. Today, we are looking at a structural change in how voice assistants actually listen. Until very recently, talking to an AI meant navigating a specific kind of awkwardness. You either got cut off mid-bot, or you waited through a long, unnatural silence while the machine figured out if you were done. That delay happened because the older setups, called cascaded systems, worked in a rigid sequence. They converted your speech to text, ran that text through a model, and then generated audio back. Every handoff created lag. That latency defined the experience. A conversation with a half-second pause at every exchange feels distinctly mechanical, making a natural rhythm impossible. To manage that flow, these systems relied on a turn detector. This tiny model's sole job was to guess when you finish speaking. It faced an impossible choice. Guess too early and you get interrupted. Wait to be absolutely sure and the response drags. On August 3rd, OpenAI engineers Justin Uberti and Zahan Molkhani published an account detailing their new GPT-Live architecture and exactly how they approached this problem. They did not build a better turn detector. They took it out of the audio path entirely. This brings us to a full duplex architecture. In this setup, the model processes what it hears while it is producing sound, making decisions many times a second, listening and speaking at the exact same time. Because it can do both simultaneously, the machine can drop a quick or a yeah while you are still mid-sentence, without breaking the flow of your speech. Handling this kind of instantaneous interaction required rebuilding the network layer beneath it, using a new open specification called the Warp protocol. Previously, opening a voice call took 6 separate trips back and forth across the network before a single word could be said. Warp cuts that process down to a single trip. When a machine can hold the floor, backchannel, and interrupt without waiting for silence, it becomes a different object in the room. It no longer needs permission to speak. This created a new engineering problem. A conversation needs to stay fast and fluid, but sometimes the model actually needs a moment to reason through a complex request. The solution is an asynchronous boundary. This is a structural wall that separates a fast, dedicated audio path from slower frontier models like GPT 5.5 doing the hard thinking. If that complex backend stalls while figuring out an answer, the audio path is insulated. The media keeps flowing, so the spoken conversation never freezes. By separating talking from thinking, the engineers prioritized continuous real-time sound, but they had to sacrifice a clean, linear timeline to get it. The issue now is what happens downstream. The audio model operates on continuous speech, but ChatGPT's interface, analytics, and safety systems are still built to read turns. So the software takes that continuous, turnless audio stream and stitches it back into distinct conversational turns. It uses half-finished transcripts and timing data to guess who held the floor, constantly lining up messages and keeping the newest open. The system has to make subjective decisions on the fly. It must figure out if a brief should be ignored, or if a substantive interruption deserves its own permanent message box. Because the raw audio stream lacks structure, the machine is trapped in a loop of guessing and rearranging the past to keep the interface working. This architecture forces the software to carry 2 distinct, competing accounts of the exact same conversation at once. The first is a speculative view. This fluid text on your screen shifts and changes as more speech arrives. The second is the authoritative record. After someone holds the floor long enough, the system settles on a finalized transcript, committing it to memory. For regulators mapping out safety rules, this distinction matters. When an evaluation regime samples a transcript to see if the AI crossed a line, it is sampling that reconstructed authoritative record, not the raw audio stream the user actually heard. They achieved a seamlessly human pace. But in exchange, the auditable record of the conversation is now a reconstruction, assembled long after the talking stopped.